Welcome to another edition of Operation Rescue, Trial Tips from the Attorney Whisperer. I'm the Attorney Whisperer, Sari Delamont with you. Today we're talking about what if the defense gets a hold of our tools, meaning those things that me and other trial consultants that only work with plaintiff attorneys do. This has come up quite a bit, especially with my podcast, Sari, you should lock down your material. You shouldn't let it out there. What if the defense starts to use some of these things? And by the way, I do reserve all my greatest stuff for my H2H members in our H2H membership. That membership is reopening in January. Don't miss your chance. But here's what I want to remind you of when we start to get scared, because this question came up in my membership today where we did a Facebook Live. I do that every month in the membership and take questions. And one of the attorneys said, Sari, what if the defense starts to learn how to use your issue-oriented or your principle-centered voir dire? And that is the voir dire method that I teach to my members and in my book, From Hostage to Hero, where we really hone in on the principle in your case, and then we use those principles to discuss in voir dire with jurors and see if they, in fact, rally around those principles. So here's how I answered that to him, and here's what I'm going to say to you today, is that you as plaintiff civil attorneys have something that defense attorneys do not have, and that is you stand on the side of the right. That is something that, even though it feels as though we are often put behind the starting line, gets us way ahead. You have to believe and firmly stand in the principle that you stand on the side of the right. So if the defense, for example, tries to do an issue-oriented or principle-centered voir dire, they're going to be left lacking. Why? Because they do not stand for the side of principles. They do not stand for responsibility, for honesty, for safety. That is not what they stand for. And you do. Therefore, we do not need to be afraid of them using the techniques and all the things, because we can firmly stand in knowing that it's really about authenticity, communication, connection, and our stance for standing up for injured people that will always win the day. Not always win trials, by the way. What the jury decides is separate from what our work is to do as trial attorneys, which is to stand for the truth firmly on a principle and let the chips fall where they may. We're wasting our energy, my friends, in other words, worrying about who is using what, instead of focusing our attention and our time on becoming the best version of ourselves and grounding ourselves in the principles in the case and trusting that that will come across if we really and truly believe it. All right, next week, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to handle defense arguments in the opening statement. I'll see you next Monday.